So in this video I'd like to talk about squad cohesion. Because I've seen some comments on a previous video about removing the radio backpacks, is that some players would like to have easy access to radio backpacks so they can keep up the squad cohesion. And for me the question is, should squad cohesion be something that's easy or something that's hard? Now for me I think it should be something you should have. It should be difficult to get and difficult to keep. Because if you look at Reforger, the way the game works, the way it works best is if, you spawn in a base, preferably far away from combat. You get in a car or transport helicopter. Before that, you get your gun. Then you slowly get slower. You get closer to the combat zone. And you start hearing gunshots and explosions in the distance. And then eventually you get close to the enemy and you try to find them. And it's that slow build-up that infuses the gameplay with intensity. And the intensity of the gunfight depends on how much you are attached to your character in the firefight. So for example, let's say you play DayZ. You spawn at the beach and somebody attacks you with a Makarov pistol, rushes you, and some shots miss. It's exciting firefight, but it's not that intense. Now the same situation, imagine if your character is 10 days alive already, you're at the Northwest Airfield, and somebody shoots at you and misses a shot. That's the type of gameplay you remember a few years later, because of how attached you are in the character. And Reforger does that on a smaller scale, because basically all that slow build-up until you get into combat, it charges up all the gameplay systems with intensity and meaning. And if you always have an easy access to where your friend is to spawn, you lose that. And I also feel you basically value the squad cohesion more if you can lose it. Also consider it from a power gaming perspective. If somebody wants to power game, let's imagine you play DayZ and you rush in a beeline to the Northwest Airfield, and then your friend spawns in because he wants to have squad cohesion. Now you basically are a moving teleporter for your friends to cut out most of the gameplay just to get to the Northwest Airfield. Now imagine how much fun DayZ would be if you could start at the Northwest Airfield. I think the game wouldn't be nearly as fun as it is, because you lose all the build-up of getting there, of the adventures you get as you're traveling, as you slowly build up your gear. And I think it's similar in Reforger. And some players then say that they don't want to spend time going back into combat. But the thing is, for me that's part of the experience. Like, if I respawn in a base, I get a gun, I go into a car, a player asks me where to go, and we drive there, we fly there. That player also gets gameplay from transporting other players. And that's more exciting than transporting just cargo. Because you have to figure out, okay, where's a good drop-off zone we don't get shot at, and all the tactics. Then you get out of the car, you check your gun's fire mode, you check your ammo, and you start looking for the enemy. And I think, ironically, if the game would be a far more restrictive response, like one thing I keep proposing for a long time is like an option, server-side option, to set only one main spawn in the base, nothing else. That would actually make squad cohesion much more important, because you are much more scared of losing it. Because there's two ways to look at squad cohesion. You can look at it as a ritual, to just do it for the sake of playing with others as a social experience, which is fun, okay? But if you look at it, like, it's almost a primal argument. Like, why do people want to be in a squad in a military firefight? Or, like, it's not even military. Let's take an absurd example. Let's say you are some type of gangster in some American town, and you're about to have a shootout with a rival gang. You obviously want to have more guys on your side, because instinctively you know, if you have more guys on your side, no matter what the confrontation is, you have a higher chance of surviving the fight, whether it's with guns, knives, or sticks. So, and Reforger should replicate the need for being in a squad with the need for survival, because that's, I think, what all military tactic is about, is to maximize the survival of your own guys versus the other guys. But if you remove the fear of losing the squad cohesion, or the underlying primal reason for the squad cohesion, then it's just for the sake of being close to your friends. And the other problem is how many underlying gameplay systems you're cutting out. like other players transporting you, and just the build up between combat. And the thing is, you will play the game differently if you know you can easily spawn in the proximity than if you know you have to spawn several kilometers away from the action. Which then has a feedback effect on other systems, like, for example, suppression. If somebody, let's say you're in that barn and you're peeking out, and somebody else just from 400 or 500 meters keeps shooting with a machine gun, spraying the barn. If you spawn 500 meters close, you can probably just strafe out and keep shooting back because you don't care. But if your spawn is 5 kilometers away, then you may not bet your character on peeking out in the wrong moment.